Hey guys, and welcome back to Hoosier Hardware, and today we're talking about falling PC prices, and I want to show you a little bit of the real world of what you can expect to get in your local markets and what types of prices you might be seeing. And all that comes right after I give you a little bit of a cool product overview here. This is a USB Type-C to C cable. It's a charge cable, but it has a cool party trick in that it shows you the wattage that your device is drawing, which isn't really something I think most people are going to need to know. It's just sort of one of those cool things to actually know how fast your device is charging, how much power it is pulling. So this will be linked in the description down below. Now let's talk about these PC prices. So most of you are very aware that over the past year and a half or 2 years, GPUs in particular have made PC gaming very difficult to get into. There's a major barrier to entry from the pricing of those cards, but that has definitely been changing recently. So over here on Facebook, there are several listings I want to kind of go through. This first one is actually one that ships to wherever you need it to go. This is an RX 5500 for $135. Now, that's actually a really nice price for this particular GPU, considering where it was just 2, 3, 4 months ago. And just for your reference, I just looked on eBay. These types of cards were going for like $250, $300, or $350 back as recently as like January, February. So $135. Ship up for an extra $575, and you have yourself a card that can get you at least up and running in 1080p games. Now, it's not going to be a powerhouse GPU that's going to get you set and ready to go for all the AAA titles out there, but if you're just into esports or something like that, this is a very inexpensive way to get yourself a solid GPU to get yourself up and running, and also potentially give you a nice little upgrade path in the future. Another card that I saw pop up that was local to me was this GTX 1070, which did actually sell for $200. Now, when I was messaging the seller, I actually offered $150, and I actually got the vibe that he would have went for that $150 had he not already had somebody else on the hook. He said he would get back to me if it fell through, and it does look like now that it's been updated, it has in fact sold. But even at $200, if you were the end user of this, because I was looking to buy this card with the intention of packaging it with a PC and potentially flipping it, but if you were just trying to buy this card so you could get yourself gaming, the 1070 is still a very capable 1080p gaming card, and yeah, for $200, not bad. And another place to take a look at for potential deals that you could find readily available just kind of wherever you are, it is the EVGA B-Stock website. I saw the RTX 3050 that's on the screen right now going for as little as about $270, and that was during one of the midweek madness sales that EVGA has pretty much every Wednesday on this B-Stock website. So this would be a good website to keep an eye on, because as those prices on the secondhand market are falling and on the new market, so too are these B-Stock deals, which are getting very, very close to MSRP. And of course, the nice thing about the B-Stock deals is you do get a year warranty with the actual product, so there is a little bit more safety maybe in going for a B-Stock deal, which is actually also where I continue to recommend power supplies. I've been recommending these power supplies forever, but EVGA currently has a ton of them. You can get very inexpensive power supplies for budget builds here, but you can also get really solid power supplies for higher end builds at very reasonable pricing. So the EVGA B-Stock website is just a good sales plug in general, but check on Wednesdays in particular for these, because you can find really good deals when they have their midweek madness sales. Now, while GPUs are falling, they are not the only thing out there that is getting more and more affordable. For instance, here we have this combo. This is a Ryzen 1500X with a motherboard and 16 gigabytes of DDR4 memory. Granted, it's a little bit slower memory at 2666, but it's listed at $200, and the seller told me they would be willing to accept $150 for this combo, which if you are somebody building out a mid-tier gaming PC, that's really solid. And with B350, you actually have an excellent upgrade path, and those CPUs that would be your upgrades are getting cheaper and cheaper all the time. So this is a really solid option. It was one of the reasons that I championed Ryzen for so long, is because this first generation Ryzen stuff has excellent upgradability, especially compared to the Intel counterparts of the day. Now, speaking of Intel, they're not left out completely from the deals. We have an i7-9700F, that's 8 cores, 8 threads, with a motherboard, no DDR4 memory with this particular combination here, but $200 listed. You could probably get something like this for about $150. I'm guessing the seller would probably be willing to negotiate a little, though it was only listed 22 hours ago, so maybe there's less wiggle room right now. Wait a week. If it's still there, it might be a little bit more negotiable on the price, but that's a solid deal, again, from a CPU that has excellent IPC and would be a very good platform to base a mid-tier gaming rig on. Now, that's not to say that all deals out there are actually perfect, because there are deals like this. The Ryzen 5 3600, which was listed 6 weeks ago, is listed at $200, which is about $50 above where you can get these from eBay. So I'm going to go out on a limb and probably guess you could get a deal with this if you're willing to shoot an offer to the seller. Say, look, they're going for $150 on eBay. I'll give you $120 for it. Maybe they're willing to negotiate, maybe they're not, but if you already have the platform, you have your Ryzen motherboard, and you're just needing the CPU, 6 cores, 12 threads, despite what some would say, is still plenty for gaming right now, and it will likely be plenty for gaming in the near future. Now, that's not to say that you can't get better performance with 8 cores and 16 threads or something else, but 6 cores and 12 threads is plenty for gaming in pretty much every game out. Again, not saying it's not going to limit any GPU, but you're not going to be pairing a 3600 here with something like an RTX 3090. You're going to be pairing it with sort of a mid-tier GPU. So these deals, even when they don't look like they're deals at face value, always be willing to shoot the seller a message, because you can sometimes get good deals even when the listed price isn't so great. Now, of course, today I was looking at pretty much all local deals with a couple of sort of more widely available things there, and that's the takeaway as prices continue to fall. The best deals that you're gonna find are always gonna be on the local markets. Use your Craigslist, your Facebooks, and other websites that are your local marketplace apps, because that's where you're gonna cut out that middleman fee that you'll see from places like eBay, and you're gonna get better deals as well. Now, with those better deals, also understand the really good deals don't last long, especially if you're in a well-populated area. So if you see a deal out there, shoot the seller a message, get that thing locked down as fast as you can, because if you sit and mull over what looks like a good deal on paper, chances are a day later it may be pending or just already sold. So that's an overview of where we are right now as these prices continue to fall, which I'm really hopeful they do continue to fall back to MSRP on the new market, and that should drive the used cards also below MSRP. But I do want to hear from you guys out there. I've been gone for a couple months. If you've had a good deal in the last couple of months on PC components, let us know in those comments down below exactly what you bought, where you are maybe, and also how much did you pay for those components. Otherwise, if you liked the video, give it a like, share, subscribe. Again, the link to this cool USB power cable is in the description down below. Outside of that, that's it from me today, and I will see you all in the next video.